Welcome back, everyone. Our fourth session today. What amazing speakers we had this morning. Our special guest right now is Dina. Dina is the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching. She's the #1 Amazon International bestselling author of the multi-author book, My Mess is My Message. Dina works with successful entrepreneurs to elevate their brand visibility, income, and impact by becoming a best-selling author. She publishes multi-author and solo books. As a certified quantum leap transformation coach, Dina specializes in soul alignment for business success, and with 2 decades of neuro-coaching experience and her own journey of healing the fear of unworthiness, she believes that this is the biggest obstacle to success. She created a 5-step to manifest a new reality as a process and system that she uses in her coaching programs. Dina is passionate about expanding the consciousness of the world through her books and coaching. And today she will walk us through Manifest Your Dream Life and Business Without Working More. Welcome, Dina. Thank you so much for being today with me.
Oh, thank you, Diana. It's a pleasure.
I'm looking forward to learning from you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So, as you heard, that my first book, My Mess is My Message, hit #1 bestseller on Amazon. And my next book is about what I'm about to share with you here. Or let me rather say, the authors to join my next book are all living these principles. And the book is called Success with Source, Learn from Women who practice vibrational alignment in their business. I would have died at birth if the midwife did not inject my heart to jumpstart me back to life. And I often wondered if, I didn't want to opt out of this life. Already experienced in my mother's womb the traumatic and violent life that lay ahead. And I had this visual where I say to my higher self, "Are you nuts? I'm not ready for this." And she said, "You'll be fine and I will be with you all the way." And so my life began in a family of a mother, an 18-year-old mother and a 22-year-old father. My mother was ostracized from the church because she fell pregnant out of wedlock. My father was rejected by his wealthy family because he married below his standard. So they were just 2 kids on their own, not having a job, not having money to live on, and they were terrified. They were terrified of not having money, and I grew up with this fear of not having money. Not having money meant death. So my childhood was a dysfunctional world of conflict and dissatisfaction and violence. I always felt the odd one out. My mother was one of 5 sisters, and they were all beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous, as you would say. And one day I was about 5, a neighbor, Aunt Anna, said to me basically that I'm the ugly duckling. I'm not one of them. So even though my mother's younger sister was only 5 months older than me, and we were great friends, I was never part of them. I was never part of the sisters, and not having one of my own, I felt that they all had each other while I had no one. So I felt as if I didn't belong anywhere. And we also lived on the wrong side of the tracks. So the kids that I felt an affinity with, that I wanted to be friends with, they were the rich kids. They lived on the other end of town, and they didn't want to be friends with me. So all of this really made me feel unsafe in the world. My amygdala, my fight or flight part of the brain, was already so sensitized. I really scored 10 out of 10 for the universal fears of not belonging, not being good enough, feeling unsafe, and then, of course, wanting to control everything to feel safe. Who else is a control freak? And this all meant that I created a very poor self-image. I saw myself as a victim. doomed to fear and scarcity. And although I tried my best to control things and create abundance, I couldn't, because the underlying energy was that of fear. And of course, with this sensitized amygdala, I got triggered all the time. It was like a time bomb, daily I was triggered into fear and doubt. And who else gets triggered? I know we all do. So with this poor self-image and this victim mode, I knew I had to find a solution. And I was determined to do that. I was determined to find a solution to my problem, because why are there so many other people that are seemingly living in abundance, that are seemingly having everything success? Why not me? So I qualified as a master NLP practitioner, then as a neurosemantics coach. Then I studied PNI, psychoneuroimmunology, the science of our states on our immune system. And ultimately, I qualified as a quantum leap transformation coach, specializing in soul alignment. And I also studied energy, universal laws, and how we work and how we attract and the energy around us. And I absorbed everything that I could, and still am. I'm a lifelong student of this, of Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Abraham Hicks, and Wayne Dyer, and so many others. And what I discovered gave me a light at the end of the tunnel. I uncovered that all my beliefs, my whole belief system, my whole paradigm, my beliefs about myself, about my family, about money, about God, the universe, were all false. In fact, I've created a whole false self. I call it the faulty blueprint. And of course, most people have this. Most of us, when we are born, our minds, our brains are like an open sponge, and we absorb everything around us, from our parents, our teachers, their ideas, their beliefs, everything from them, their emotions, their fears. We absorb everything. And that will become our destiny if we don't change it. And we have the power to do so. That's the good news. We have the power to do so. And of course, what it takes to change is your energy vibration. So let's just take a little step back and talk about energy. We are all energy. Everything about us is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our emotions are energy. Our words, our actions, our body is energy. If we would take the body away, we would just be a light, because we are just energy. And how do we create? And, we are actually an energy field. We magnetize things to us. And this energy field we create with our mind and our body. We call it a mind-body state. So as you think, so you feel. And that puts you in a state. We're always in a state. And then we respond or react from that state. I call it the supply chain of the mind. We think, we feel, we act, we respond. And of course, then there are consequences, there are results. And that's how we create our life, through how we think, feel, and act. Okay? Now, let me give you an example to explain this better. Say you are driving somewhere and someone cuts in front of you. Now, depending on the meaning or the thought or the belief that you have about someone cutting in front of you, you will evoke a state. Okay? And then you will act from that state. So if your belief, your meaning about somebody cutting in front of you is, how dare you? That's a personal attack. It's so disrespectful. That will evoke a state of anger, right? And how will you act? You will probably show the finger, you will blast on the hooter. And if the other person then waves you off or show you a finger back, then that would escalate into rage. And I mean, you would not try and go and bump them off the road and see, how dare you do this to me? Did you see the connection between how the stimulus, the thought, how you think, how you feel, and how you act? Now, but if your meaning about somebody cutting in front of you is live and let live, shame, man, she's probably late. Come, my pleasure. That would evoke a state of acceptance and neutrality, right? And how would you react? You would wave at them and say, no, it's cool. And how would she react in front of you? She would say, oh, sorry, thank you. And how would that make you feel? Appreciated? You just did your act of kindness for the day. So it's a choice. We are always at a choice of how we respond to life. And if you choose to see events, people, things, places, everything in a way that makes you feel good, you attract good into your life. Because your energy field interacts with the energy field around us. Because it's all energy around us. And the law of attraction brings us experiences that match our energy vibration. So your energy vibration frequency is your most important asset that you have. That combined with your self-image, because your self-image drives everything in your life. It drives your thoughts about everything, how you see yourself. If you see yourself as a loser, as a fraud, as an imposter, as not good enough, then your subconscious mind will create the circumstances that you confirm that for you. So for you, anyone to create a new reality, to create a new way of living, to change, you've got to start with you. You've got to start with your self-image, to root for yourself, to be your best friend, to see yourself in a like God sees you. Okay? So how do we do that? How do we create a new self-image? With the same powers that you received at birth. Your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your actions. Exactly as an example that I explained now, is exactly the same powers. We choose to think differently about ourselves. We choose to feel differently about ourselves. We choose to talk to ourselves differently. Now, of course, these are our powers, but it's very important to realize that even though these are our powers that we use, you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts. You are not your emotions. You have emotions. And you are not your past or history or whatever somebody does to you or anybody's opinion. That's all things external to you. Okay? So your self-image, your inner game, how you see the world goes through how you see yourself first. And that starts here. That starts with your heart connecting to that and to realize that you are a spiritual being having a human experience and that you are unconditionally valuable and that you have all the power, all the knowledge, everything that you need is already inside you. So it's never too late to create a new life, to create a better life, to create better quality, to create a next level of success. It's never too late. We are eternal beings. We create all the time. Everything that you see around you at the moment, you have created. And if you created that, you can create something better. So I've created the 5 steps to manifest a new reality. So play with me a little bit. So the first step is, of course, your vision. And that is what it is that you would like to create. We start with creating in our imagination. That is our power. And in the imagination, there is no reason. And reason does not have any imagination. So in here is your place where you create what you want. Now, think about your next level of success. What does that look like? And just so you know, if you can't create an image about what you want, then you don't have, it's not clear yet, period. Because our mind thinks in pictures. You attract what you want in pictures. Okay? So think about what it is that you would like, what is your next level of success, whatever that may be, and form an image. And now bring it closer. If it's a bit fuzzy, focus, make it clear. And if it's far away, draw it in. It's like a TV remote or a zoom camera. Draw it in, zoom in to that, and step into that so that you can feel it. And you can sense it. You can see everything around you. Who's with you? What are you touching? Feel the textures around the things that are around you. And listen, what are you hearing? Maybe there are smells and tastes. All of this makes it real. And your imagination does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It takes what you create on the screen of your mind and what you energize with emotion to create that for you. That is your order to the universe. So you be careful of what you see in the eye of your mind, okay? So how was that for you? Who struggled to actually form an image? Who struggled to decide, oh my God, what do I want? Because that's also something most of us can really say, what don't we want? But it's not so easy to say what we want. And I always advise my clients, make then a list of what it is that you don't want. And then look at the opposite of what you do want. And the most important thing is to make the image of it as clear as possible. Hold that, play with that, see that all the time. And of course, feel it. Because then you energize it. That's our powers. That's how we work. So that's the first step. The second step is, who do you need to be able to manifest this? And this, of course, is your self-image. So I always explain to my clients that wherever you are is at a level of vibration. Whatever you want is at a higher level of vibration. These are two places, as Bob Proctor calls it. I say vibration realities. Both of them is like a reality. How you think, feel, and act here, and the results that you get here is way different from thinking, feeling, and acting here and getting these results that you really would love to have. And if you want to get this, you have to think, feel, and act on that level of vibration. Okay? And that is when we attract it to us. So who do you need to be to live here? How do you walk? How do you talk? What do you discuss with people? What do you say to yourself? What do you believe about yourself? That's who you need to be and wish to be, and is to practice to live here. That is a big thing. You can't create anything new from this low vibration. You've got to lift yourself up to live here. And of course, to do that, we need to get rid of the triggers that we talked about earlier, the triggers that trigger you into doubt and fear. So think about that for a moment. What is it that triggers you? Is it that people are not buying? Is it that they are not signing up to your list? Is it that you do not get enough comments or likes on your stuff? What are the little things that trigger you, that you start doubting yourself, that you start thinking, oh my gosh, this is never going to happen? Because you know what? They're all assumptions. They're all false. Not any one of them is the truth. So once we are prepared to look at these emotions, just say, what am I thinking? Remember the supply chain? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Is this true? Probably not. No. Do I say yes to this? No. I say no to this. Now, what would I like to believe instead? What would I like to confirm as beliefs for me about this? Yes, I want to believe that I'm good enough. I am good enough. I can create anything. If someone else can have success, I can have it too. I'm capable, I'm competent. All of these are beliefs confirming who you need to be and who you wish to be and who you actually already are, because you already are that. And then the triggers start losing power over us, because you see, the triggers don't go away. We need to change our relationship with the trigger to feel different. In other words, give it a different meaning, think about it differently, so that we can feel different, act different, and have a different result. The same with a car, the same with somebody bumping in front of you or cutting in front of you. So that is all about the triggers. And this is quite an intricate process that I take my clients through. But for you to start off with is just start challenging what you are thinking or what you are believing. And don't believe everything that you think. That's important. The next step, number 3, is practice, or number 4 is practicing faith. Now, this vibration is a practice. And the practice is feel good. That's all. The practice is to find things that you can feel good about. And remember, when we have a clear image about what we want, it's about the what and the why, not the how. The how is none of our business. It comes to us in the ways of the universe. So, but you practice faith of what you what makes you feel good, and you can let go. In other words, you believe in the invisible that is not visible here yet. You see the invisible and you believe in the incredible. That's your faith. You hang on to that. And is the law. It will manifest. And the last thing is, of course, your actions, taking actions. And it's to take inspired action. How do we do that? We do that by first seeing the outcome of what it is that we are going to take action on. What is the result that we want there? And we are feeling that. We are seeing that in our mind, and we are feeling that. Feeling the excitement, feeling the joy, feeling the gratitude. This worked. And then we take action. Never take action if you don't feel good, because you take that energy with your action and it will not turn out the way that you want. So these are the 5 steps. And in conclusion then, is that you can create anything that you want. There's really no limitation. The only limitations we have is what we have up here, okay? The thing is just that you have to follow a system to do that. It's a system. And you know what's the golden word? It's repetition. The mind, the brain learns by repetition. Every time you think differently, you create a little beautiful natural neural path here in the garden of your mind. Okay, think of it as little flowers that you are seeding, and that's little flowers of new ways of thinking, of new things that you want. You've got to nurture them, you've got to sustain them, you've got to water them, you've got to give them good food. Otherwise the weeds are going to take over, and the weeds take over, then they kill the flowers. And if you think about it, your old paradigm, your old way of thinking are like highways in your brain. If you start thinking new, you've got to nurture that new thoughts all the time. It's just by repetition. And that's because most people don't do it, because that's the hard work. It's not a to-do list to get through 24/7. It's to create from here and feeling it and take only inspired action and get out of the doing thing. And of course, finally, the magic ingredients are self-love and to let go and trust in the universe. Thank you very much for watching this and listening.
Thank you so much, Dina. Wow. I absolutely feel inspired and I want to go and apply everything you taught us today. Thank you so much for sharing that method with us, because I believe everyone should apply it. I honestly believe in whatever is happening out there. And for a long time, actually, I didn't believe. I didn't know that there are energies and there's something happening out there. And I was kind of following a path that other people told me to follow. And I was more in an automatic pilot rather than me thinking and applying everything you mentioned. And I would like to ask you, for those who are not yet in that level of awareness or personal development, to start thinking about their vision, their why, and start believing, where can they start? What can they do in order to start applying these steps that you mentioned?
The first step, great question. The first step is always self-awareness, as you said. Just become aware, because that is again a gift given to us, is to become aware of how we feel. Because we have about 65,000 thoughts a day, and 95% of those thoughts are unconscious. We don't know, we don't even know we're having them. The scary thing is the same thoughts we had yesterday, the day before, the week before, the month, the year, the decade before. Unless we become self-aware and we become our own observer, and you realize that you are not just this human, you are a human being. You are more than that. You can actually watch yourself, how you are operating. You are in charge of you. And because your ego is running everything, your false self, but you can choose to say, okay, now I'm in charge. Now I can choose. Now I can become aware of how am I feeling? What am I thinking? Does this serve me? Do I really believe this? You probably become aware of, my God, this thought comes from my aunt who told me that when I was 3. Okay, it doesn't work for me. And you can start saying no to things, and you can start looking for, when you feel great, what am I thinking? Or how do I see myself? And start really doing more of what it is that make you feel great, doing things for fun, doing things because you love it, not because you have to or should. And just follow your heart, connect to your heart all the time. That awareness is the first step. And let me tell you, if you have that, start with that connection, everything starts unfolding for you. That's the first step.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dina. And I would like to ask you, because I know that not many people believe in energy and attracting positive things in our life. Do you think there is a way that we can test this energy and the way we are attracting things to ourselves? Because I know that I started to believe slowly in it, and I started to be aware and realize what's happening. But is there a way to actually really see it happening in real life?
Well, the first thing I want to say before that is, whether you believe in gravity or not, if you drop something, it falls to the ground. Whether you believe in electricity or not, when you switch on the light, it switches on. It's the same with energy. Everything is energy around us, and you can actually test it by just becoming aware. If you become aware of how, when you are feeling good, how something good happens, the next thing that happens is something great. And when you are feeling down and out, and when you are feeling angry, then the next person comes along and makes you angry again. Because what we have in our vibration, we attract thoughts, energy around us to land in us. So if we are normally grumpy, we will have many things every day to be grumpy about. People will piss us off all the time. Okay, that is energy, because that's your energy field. And if you don't know about energy, just hold out your hands. If you hold out your hands, you're going to actually feel the energy in your hands. Okay. Yes, as I said, energy is your state. It's a mind, body, emotional state, and that is an energy field. And just becoming aware of how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and see what comes into your life. Who do you attract to talk to? If you feel great, also energy. Of course, if you think of someone, the next moment that person phones you. Okay? If you really become aware, you'll see so many ways of you, how you interact with the energy around you. And of course, our thoughts, they've measured energy thoughts. It's like waves. They've measured that. It's not a woo-hoo. It is science. Go and look at Dr. Joe Dispenza. Go and look at Bob Proctor. They all talk the same language. Abraham Hicks, it's all the same language. It's about we are energy, and we attract into our lives our energy vibration, because every thought, every emotion has got a frequency. So we have a range of frequencies. At the top, we have like peace and joy, and that's at a frequency of 700 megahertz. And at the bottom, we have like shame, it's 20. Guilt is 30. Apathy, 50. Fear is 100. Grief, 75. So if you want to be here and have peace at 600 and joy at 540, love at 500, and you all day feel guilt and shame and fear, it's never going to happen. It's too far apart. You have to climb this ladder of frequencies. You have to start accepting yourself. Just self-acceptance is the most powerful thing, because whatever is out there that came at you, it loses its power instantaneously just by accepting. And when we start appreciating and we see the beauty and around us, bless people, you will see how things in your life improve. That's a great test. Stop complaining, stop condemning, stop judging. Just see the good in everything. Make it a pact. Make it a vow. I'm going to see the good in everything this week. And you will be amazed how many good things come to you.
I fully agree with you. Thank you so much, Dina, once again, for all the knowledge and your life lessons, everything you share with us. I believe that everyone should apply this as of right now. Don't wait until tomorrow, because there is no better way to start applying these life lessons than today, because this is what is going to help you to build your tomorrow. Thank you once again for being with me, Dina. I would like to close the session today by asking you, who are you serving, who are you helping, and how can people contact you?
Thank you, Diana. I work with entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs that I help to go to the next level in their business through soul alignment, through exactly what I talked about here, and also to publish their stories, their solo books and multi-author books. I mentioned my multi-author book in the beginning. And people, you can find me on Facebook, Dina Marais. My website is dinamarais.com. You can see more about me there as well. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you so much, Dina, for being today with me.
Thank you.